Hello, people. Welcome to Dream Team Scout. This is your boy Tage for Game Week 6 selections on the Sun Dream Team Fantasy. Just want to say thank you for for liking and subscribing to my channel. Really do appreciate it. Let's not stop there. Please spread the love, like, share, and subscribe again, and help me to help you. You know, so because what I do helps you to do what you do, and what you do helps me to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? No, people. I just want to say from the deepest region of my heart, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, let's not stand on pleasantries here, but let's move on. So last week I suggested a few defenders in Digne, Dalo, Mazurui, and Poro. Fair to say that Dalo and Mazurui came in with decent point returns. Digne and Poro not so much, which was a bit of a letdown. So on that, I'll be grading myself. Yeah, maybe 50 out of 100. Yeah, so that was a bit meaty. And then if we're moving to midfielders, I suggested Barnes, Timmerlands, Fernandez, Garnacho, and Madison. Barnes came through with 11 points, I think. But they had the game postponed, so that kind of just messed things up for those people that sort of brought in Barnes. But they came in with 11 points, which is decent. Timmerlands came in with similar points as well, 11 points. Bruno had the 2 games, and the returns were not great at all. Not great. Which was a bit of a letdown. Garnacho the same. Madison came in with some crazy points, 19 points in just the one game, although missing the Europa Conference League game. But that didn't really matter. Just that was still some good returns for him as well. And in an attack, I suggested Watkins, Duran, Solanke, Rashford, Jota, and Salah. Salah did some good points, did some good returns if you captained him as well. Jota did well, redeemed himself with 2 goals against West Ham in the League Cup. Rashford, what a howl over transfer. Just when you just when you start believing in the boy, it just goes around and shoots you in the foot. Solanke did well, back-to-back games with goals. So he's on the mend, he's on the rise. Duran did his thing. That guy is dangerous. It's just that he doesn't start. And then Watkins also did some decent returns. So on that one, my performance in this, I'll probably say in around the region of probably say 75. So I probably say overall I did well with this suggestion on the strike force, the midfielders. The defender was a bit meaty, but hey, it is what it is. But listen, let's not draw too much on game week 5. This is game week 6 selections. For this week, I've sort of made the pool of players very small. Reason behind this is because you look at the fixture list, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. I've got some decent fixtures coming up. And these fixtures are the games that you want to you want to be feasting in. So you look at the Arsenal fixtures. They've got Leicester and PSG game week 6. Game week 7 they've got Southampton. Game week 8 Arsenal have got Bournemouth and Shakhtar Donetsk. These are good fixtures. So you want to be or if you look at Man City's, they've got Newcastle and Slovan Bratislava. They've got Fulham after that, and then they've got Wolves and Prague. And then you look at Liverpool's, they got Wolves and Bologna, and they got Crystal Palace after that in game week 7, and in game week 8 they got Chelsea and Leipzig. So I feel like if you are going to be, at this point in time, your team should be coming along just nicely. And this week, I just feel like these are the players that you want to be targeting players from these clubs. I know there are other teams, like Spurs and Spurs. They play Man United and the team that I can pronounce Ferroviárias, well, if you can pronounce the name. So you could also look into them as well. But yeah, the Man United game, I don't see much points being made, maybe in the defense over there. But yeah, listen, you're just targeting teams with the double game weeks basically. So, and Chelsea as well. But I'm a bit skeptical about Chelsea, and they do like full squad rotations with their team. So anyway, for this week, in defense, I would say if you're targeting an Arsenal defender, I'll probably say Gabriel. You could score 10 points last game week, 9 points against City, 1 against Bolton. He's got a total of 53 points, averaging 7.6 points, which is good. And his best performing points is 16 points. So we do know that in one game, my guy could wake up to 16 points. If he scores, keeps a clean sheet, gets a shot on target with his header, he could get a stupid point like that. And Leicester is a game my guy could show up again. He's been formidable. Um, and like I've said, he's the second best defender in DT fantasy and a threat from set piece, like I just said. And I'll say if you are going to bring in Gabriel, he's very expensive. You should be obviously you buy and hold him until the end of game week 8 at least. You could carry on keeping him for longer, but what I normally have this sort of thing where I keep my players on a 3 game. I assess the positions of key players I would like to keep in my team for at least 3 weeks. Um, Now, if you think he's too expensive and you want to buy your way into the Arsenal defense, you could go for a cheaper alternative in Calafiori. He's 3.1 million. He scored against Man City with 10 points, so he should rise by 3 million. So once again, you get the additional bonus of getting into the Arsenal defense and getting a 3k increase, 300k increase. Now, let's not draw too much on his total points. He's got total points of 14, but that is obviously he's just warming his way into the team. And his best performing points was 10 points just this last game week. So, yeah, he's definitely a cheap entry to the Arsenal defense. Now we know that there are injury concerns with Ben White. We know Zinchenko is out. We know Timber is struggling, so he could play. My only thing with Calafiori, he might not play back-to-back games. I know if he does start against Leicester, then maybe Timber might come in for PSG. So, but then he might come on. So he's just bearing this in mind. But listen, it's 3.1 million. Sometimes you can't place too much expectations on these guys. So it is what it is. So I would say those are the target from Arsenal, the defenders I'll be looking at. I mean, if you are going to bring in Calafiori just a little, and maybe just 1 game week, you might want to see how Arteta plays him, and then you might swap him with a Timber the next game week if you want to. But I would just say if you are going to bring him in, you just bring him in the hold. Or you could go for Timber. But going to my head, I would say Gabriel or Calafiori. Okay. Now, if we want to go to Man City's, we're targeting Man City's fixtures. They've got Newcastle and Slovan. Slovan got routed by Celtic 5-1. Now, imagine the sort of damage City will do to them, regardless of KDB missing or Rodri missing. They will do damages against this team. Now, I know Newcastle away is not the easiest of games, but Newcastle, the defense lately has been atrocious. So if we're going to target a player from City in defense, we're going for Gavio. He's 4.8 million. His game week points was 5 points, so it didn't really do much. Probably should go down by a million. I mean, not a million, 100k. His total is 37 points. He's averaging 5.3 points every game, which is a bit meaty. All right. His best performing points is 11 points in 1 game week. I feel like he could score against Slovan. Against Arsenal, he was peppering Raya with some good shots. So, yeah, I think he's a threat. He could score and he could surpass that 11 points that his best performing points in 1 game week. So, now, although I do know City has only kept 2 clean sheets all season, but this favourable run, surely they could bear that tally, surely. So if you are going to bring in Gavio, it's a guy you bring in and you hold for another 3 weeks, definitely. Okay? And once again, if you're going for a cheaper alternative in the City's defence, you want to look into Lewis. Rico Lewis is 3.6 million, came in with 7 points this game week. His price probably should remain the same or go up by 100k. Did not play against Arsenal, but scored 7 points against Watford with that assist. He's totaling 38 points and City's best defender. I mean, point-wise in the Dream Team fantasy. He's averaging 6.3 points and his best performing points is 9 points. Once again, he's a cheap free to see the City defense. And like I said, with Rodri being injured, I could see him stepping into midfield with Kovacic. Pep likes to do that. He could do that with Stones. So yeah, I would say if you are going to bring the kid, you buy and hold him for another 3 game weeks or 6 to 8 game weeks. So those are the 2 players I'll be picking from. Those are the players I'll be targeting if I was going into the Arsenal or City defense. Or if you want to look into Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold is 5.9 million, most expensive Dream Team defender, but we know why. He scored 14 points this last game week, 14 against Bournemouth. Didn't play against West Ham, but he's done his job. He should go up by 3 million. So if you are going to bring him in, you should, because that guy's money is going to be like 6.2 soon. He's got total points of 51 points, averaging points 8.5, which is amazing. Best performing points was 14 points. And Liverpool's fixtures against Wolves and Bologna, the boy could do damages. He rakes in the points, he could do damages, and then go Crystal Palace after that. So yeah, I would say definitely bring if you do have the funds to bring him in for game week 6 and 7, definitely. The Chelsea game in game week 8 and Leipzig might be a game Pool might concede, but he's returns. But it's what I love about Trent. He's not solely reliable on just the defense alone, on defending and keeping a clean sheet. He's got his attacking output is amazing. So that is somebody you should consider as well if you've got the funds. Okay, if you've got the funds. Um, I would say, or you could consider Robinson, but I've not put him on the list. I just feel with Robinson, I don't know, it might share the points. It might share the starting berth with Tsimikas in Europe. But I think Trent definitely starts both games for Liverpool. Might get subbed off later on for Bradley if the game is secured. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me know what you think of my suggestions. Let me know what you're thinking as well. Put on the comments. Because sometimes what happens is when you leave your comments, that also helps me, and that opens my eye to things that I'm not considering as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So we could converse and dissect it together. Now, if we're going into midfield, I've got my list here. I've got Saka, Diaz, Savinho, and Brennan Johnson. So these are players that, once again, everyone, if you don't have Saka, you must be bugging. Sorry, but um, I've spoken about the favourable run with Arsenal in defence. Same applies with in midfield. Saka is 6.4 million. It should rise by another 200k. He scored 12 points this last game week, 6 against Man City, 6 against Bolton. And he done assist in both games. He's got a total points of 57 points, averaging 8.1 points. So you know the reason why you should be having him in your team if you don't already have him. His best performing points is 15 points, and yeah, you can't put that past him against Leicester. So I'm really relying on Arsenal to turn on the heat against Leicester. They've not been the best. Usual self, obviously with Odegaard being injured, but yeah, this should be opportunity to fine tune and get guns blazing. So with Saka, like I said, he's got 1 goal and 5 assists in 7 games for Arsenal, and definitely will find himself against Leicester. So yeah, but I do know the PSG game might be difficult because Arsenal did draw against Atlanta in the Champions League, but then I think um, we were just poor that game. We were just poor, and Ray had to save us to keep us in the game. So yeah, but if you don't have if you already have Saka, you hold him. Obviously, makes perfect sense. If you don't have Saka, he's a must, definitely a must. Like bring him in, lock him in. Same applies for Liverpool's player. Diaz is 4.8 million. Scored 19 points this game week. And the entire 19 points came against Bournemouth. Liverpool were just fishing in that game. Didn't play against West Ham. It should rise up by 300k, so now it should be at least 5.1 mil. He's got a total of 58 points, averaging 9.7 points, doing better than Saka. His best performing points in the game week is 19 points. So once again, you want to have your team made up of Diaz and Saka. It makes sense. Obviously, there's cheaper routes if you don't want to do that with regards to, you could consider Szoboszlai but nah, just not enough. Diaz is just scoring braces and just rivaling. It's just rivaling Salah this season. It's rivaling Salah this season. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist in his last 6 games. So yeah, he's a must-have. Buy and hold for another 3 game weeks. And then now comes to the bit of the tricky ones. The cheaper buys now. I'm looking at Savinho and Man City. It's 3.6 million. Scored 15 points this game week. Should go by 300k. So taking it to 3.9. 11 points via Arsenal with a sublime assist for Haaland's goal, and 4 points against Watford, little cameo. Totaling 33 points. Okay, because with Pep, he rotates all the time. He's averaging 5.5 points, which is not great for a midfielder, but his best performing points is 12 points in 1 game week. But well, no, 15 points in a game which was this week, should I say? Sorry. And then the only thing with Savinho is that I don't know who Pep's gonna play on the wings now with Roger injured, KDB injured, and so Pep might say one game might do a Grealish and Doku, or he might do a Savinho or a Grealish or Savinho and Foden. Now I honestly do not know what Pep's mind is, but I think definitely Savinho gets the nod. He didn't play against Watford midweek, so he should start against Newcastle. Now, if he does start against Newcastle, he might not start against Watford. Sorry, against Slovan Bratislava. So that's the tricky thing, and then I definitely think this the Champions League game is definitely a game where most of the Dream Team players will be coming for dinner, licking the lips, trying to get more points. So, but he's 3.6 million. And City do have some good fixtures moving forward. So it's one you really need to think about. But it's a risk. If you don't want to do that, you could also go for, I don't know, uh, I wouldn't say Grealish because he doesn't really score that much. Doku came in with a goal this week. Might be. Or you could do a Gundogan, but I don't know. I don't know if he's in full fitness. He was missing some horrible chances, but who knows? Who knows? Um, So yeah, that is that on Savinho, and then another guy I had to consider him even though regardless of the fixtures, but uh, Brendan Johnson of Tottenham is 3.3 million. It's cheap, like Savinho, should go up by 300k. Game week 5 points was 18, 10 points v Brentford 8 against Karabag. Scored a total of 45 points, which ain't bad, averaging 6.4, better than Savinho. Best performing points in the game week is 10. Okay, so it does not the best, but that's equally quite good. I know now they got Spurs got Man United for game week 6 away from home, but Brendan Johnson has got 3 goals in his last 3 games. Shows that he's a player in good form and he's worth a punt if you are gonna go for something different. Now I know Ange, the Spurs manager, has been playing him and taking him off at least 70 minutes and or give. So I feel like he might play against Man United, he might get subbed, but then you got the Carabao Cup, not Carabao Cup, sorry, you got the Europa League conference game in Fern Kravos, or is that how you pronounce the team's name? Yeah, wherever you pronounce it. And he could rake in his points there. So I would say he's worth a point for game week 6. That would be my shout. Could keep him for game week 7. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Or you could just hold him till, but I've just said just see his returns for game week 6. See how he gets managed for game week 6, and we'll see. Okay, and then for strikers, I've got Watkins, Harvest, Jackson on the screen. There's no point putting in Haaland and Salah because you do know those guys are. You should have Haaland and Salah. I'm sick of repeating the stats of Haaland and Salah because you know what they do every week on a regular basis. Now with Watkins, I've been shouting them the last few weeks, and I should be taking my own advice and bringing Watkins in. For some reason, I've not even brought him in my team, but as you can see on the screen, but he's 5.8 million, should go up by at least 100k. Scored 10 points this game week against Wolves, didn't play against Wickham. 46 points in total, average of 7.7, which is good. Best performing points in one game week is 18 points, and he could equal that playing against Ipswich. Um, and yeah, and then obviously he could probably nick in the goal against Bayern. Bayern do score a lot of goals, but they do concede a lot of chances as well in the Bundesliga. And then I know game week 7, Watkins got United, and game week 8 they've got Fulham and Co. So that is something that you probably want to bear in mind with Watkins. That yeah, he's got a tough run against Bayern and Man United, but he still could score, still could score. So I would say if you are targeting bringing in Watkins, you could bring him for game week 6. If you already got him, you hold him because that makes sense. Um, but if you've got money to mess around and you just feel like you want to change the strike force, yeah, definitely you could bring in a Watkins. Or moving forward, or we could go for Harvest, a bit cheaper. It's 4.9. Scored 11 points this game week. Should go up by 100k. 8 points v Bolton, 3 against Man City, totaling 37 points, averaging 5.3 points. Not the best. Best performing points in one game week is 11 points. And yeah, I would say if you are going to bring him in, you should hold. He's definitely playing every game for Arsenal. And I believe he should, depending on the formation Arteta plays, but with the Odegaard injuries playing a bit deeper, so I think that's affecting his returns. But he's once again, if you're looking on the other side and trying to take a punt, I would say do Havertz is a good shout for the fixtures. And if you are going to bring him in, I would say hold him until game week 8. And then also I've got Jackson of Chelsea. I think Jackson reminded us of what he could do this past game week where he scored 21 points v West Ham, didn't play against Borough. He's got a total of 48 points, averaging 9.6 points per game. Best performing points was just this game week. And I had the pleasure of looking at Jackson's points, and let me just put that up right now again. Nicholas Jackson, he's a tricky one because this game week 5 he scored 21 points, and then game week 4 he scored 2 points. Game week 3 he scored 10 points. Game week 2 he scored 12 points. So he scores in batches. So he's a player, when he gets going, his returns could be crazy. So he's worth a punt if you are considering him. I know definitely starting against Brighton, now against the team in Europe. I don't know if he's going to play in game week 8 for Chelsea. Let me see, game week 8, yeah, they're playing some funky team. So I don't know if he's going to play that game, but listen, he's worth a shout. Definitely worth a shout if you are looking the other way. So those are my plays I'm going to suggest for this week. Please, once again, guys, let me know what you're thinking. Put your comments on there. And also put your suggestions as well when you see my team, and just tell me what I should be focusing on. Because I think somebody mentioned to me last week I should be focusing on my defense, which should bring me to my team. This game week where I was told to focus on getting rid of my my Newcastle defenders, which I haven't done so. I brought in Harvey Barnes and Rashford, and look at the points Rashford got me on the screen for. Just got me measly 4 points this week. I brought in Harvey Barnes, took the risk. Reason why I know his funds were going up, so I was trying to get an increase, and I was looking at the fixtures that they were playing against Fulham, and he did score a goal, did good returns, and I was thinking, go crush Wimbledon now, because you know, um, Eddie Howe, you need to be, you need to move on, and you need to move on in these cup competitions. And I thought Liverpool and Hall, we're going to go get good returns in those games. But voila, what happened? Game got postponed. So hopefully this week, the rain, please stop raining. It's been raining all week. I don't know about where you guys live, but it's been raining all week here in London. And then hopefully these guys could pay, they could pay my faith in them. They could give me some good returns. But I don't know. For this week, game week, I'll be honest, Rashford is out of my team. So I'm considering taking out Rashford for maybe the City midfielder, because I want to, I feel like I just want to solidify my position with City and have at least 2 City players in that run. It's a bit scary. Don't think I've got enough funds for Watkins in this team. I don't want to, bring in Watkins and then have a very cheap defender. So I might probably in this team, I'm looking maybe to do a Savinho and I'll probably say Savinho and a Gavio, maybe Robinson out. Still keep my faith in the Newcastle defenders. Or if I take one of the Newcastle defenders out, then I'll probably bring in a Calafiori or because they're much cheaper than Robinson. Don't have enough fun. So that's where my mind is at. I'm happy with Saka, Diaz, and Eze. Eze is a beast. Could get these points in could get crazy points in one game week. And I know, although he didn't perform that great this game week with 7 points, he's got Everton this game week. My boy could do damages. So yeah, that is my mindset with regards to my team. Sorry, I didn't even tell you guys about my captain choices. You can see it on the screen. So if you are going to be captaining anybody this week, I'm putting my captaincy on Haaland. And that's the reason why I should consider information on the board. If you're not captain Haaland, then I say Salah, not Salah, Saka. There's a pecking order to this, but I would say I fancy Haaland starting both games as opposed to Salah could start against Wolves. Salah will start both games, Wolves against Bologna, but I'm just looking at the games that has got the easier opportunity to get better returns. So yeah, so the captains for this week would be definitely Haaland, Salah, and Saka. And my performance in the leader on the board this week, I'm doing much better. The overall leaderboard, I was on 27K. Now I'm on 24, as you can see. And Arsenal Fan League, I was somewhere around, say, I think, was it 3 last time? I can't remember. Now I'm on 2,800. So we're making progress, even though it was a bit of a shitty week. Still making progress, should I say? So yeah, let me know how you guys feel. Like, share, and subscribe. And let's get this money. 110 points this week, 552 points in total. And that was without a booster, because I know loads of people used the boosters, 12-man max captains. This week we still got 3 boosters, as you can see on the left hand side of the screen. So yeah, it is what it is. Dream Team Scout, over and out.